bored. I'm in my apartment as little as I please. And there's no electricity in my apartment, so I'm seeking the death penalty for everyone that steals my money, everyone that gets in the way of me receiving money, everyone that steals my vehicles, everyone that steals my homes. You can decapitate me on me as far as sons that rape me, that steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. Tipo un bruto, una asquerosidad. I don't want him near me ever. He stole my money to date him after he and I painted together decades ago. One of them threatened to kill me, and one of them stole my money and gifted it to Carolina Chavez, who was his for sale at the moment. Un tipo tan basura, una asquerosidad. La diva es una leech asquerosa. Ew, 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 ew. El otro se enojó because I had been going through so much that I might just take myself on a cruise alone one day. So he said to me, well, I'm going to steal your money and you and I are going to take. Ew. Fool. You're sex addict, so gross. So con él no se puede hablar de nada, o sea, el pene de él, and I'm not interested in it. So yo quiero que él se mate hoy. Ew, ew, ew. Ew, tipo un asqueroso, una basura. You can decapitate my homies, husbands, sons. That rape me to steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. I'm tagging the FBI in this post. I'm currently eating a chocolate pudding that I got at Catholic Charities earlier. They had a sack lunch that they offered. There won't be food. They're provided tomorrow on Friday. About that, Catholic splurge. So it's just like getting a cold. Everyone around the same time. And people choosing to go light on eating on Thursday and then on Black Friday might as well be. Not eating at all. Some people are funny, so I'm gonna say that it's already midnight and have this. Because sometimes temptation arises with people that don't practice such tradition or instruction. To bring good food over. And some people would do that to my parents. They're like, you're not sick, you're already adult, time. The kid can have one and you won't. And like, whatever, just never dance midnight and eat it. Or they're like, déjalo ahí y mañana eso recalentado will still be good, but don't tell anyone. What else? What? What else? What else? So basically, when one gets the cold, one doesn't die for not eating, or if one gets like extreme diarrhea or vomit for a day, one needs to stay hydrated, of course, with the water. I don't even like doing those Pedialyte drinks. I've had bought in the past for my kids, but I've also given them water, and also because they don't feel like eating much. So that's like a very much stage, especially when they're like very little, that they don't express towards one like what is going on, other than just being there lethargic, with cheeks red. Then one says, in a day or two, this kid is gonna be bouncing on my bed again. Just watch it. happened? What else? What else? What else? So basically, Catholics celebrate that. That one can be sick for a while, not eat, and not die. But it's not something that's encouraged for one to not eat for an extended period of time. That's only for the healthy too, that they practice it. No one that's currently being starved on purpose, like myself, will we go on for the next 2 days and be like, I'm not eating. So I already have my meal plan of peanut butter and bread because I don't have money. So that's all I bought today, and water. I plan to buy bananas for me to eat while the leash get home socialite wannabe. Oops, the camera needs to be directed. House people for Passover in my homes, possibly with a spread literally of nalgas in front of him that he rapes and they rape him. And some food. El tipo es un asco, una basura, una asquerosidad. You can decapitate both Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo sons that rape me and steal my money and get in the way of me receive money. You can decapitate Richie Hill that raped me in 2023. Ew, so he's looking for a scapegoat? Is that why he does that? And he keeps stealing my money looking for someone to go to jail for him having raped me and stolen my money so I can't date. Decades ago, he's not very smart. What else? What else? What else? And not attractive at all when he's that idiot. And I don't do it for him, therefore he doesn't do it for me. What else? What else? What else? What else? That is a picture of my second cousin who I don't remember his name. And I don't ever want to learn or remember. At Central Library yesterday. What else? What else? What else? What else? Entonces está la leash bragging today of cuál de ellas made love to him yesterday on World Art Day, gente. Eso tiene una competencia. El tipo es un bruto, una asquerosidad. Un bellaco asqueroso. Uy, lo peor que hay en este planeta. Ew, 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 ew. Ew, ew, ew. So si se comporta como se comportaban hace décadas ago when I stopped talking to him. Because as soon as I left my parents' home, like, yeah, he won't rape me anymore. He can't enter my personal home ever that I get for myself. That's why he steals my keys to my homes, trying to rape me for. Still, yeah, I don't even want to know. What the heck I might know of him, when I don't ever think about him. He's not a part of my life. He's never been a part of my life. He's a prime baby. May have his reasons, but not reasons to kill me. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Possibly using me to go and kill more people and get now fame through social media. Now that I post his picture. Possibly he killed thousands of people on September 11, 2021, trying to rape me. After having raped me, stolen my money to date him, stolen my homes and my vehicles, filled my homes with leeches, get pretend to be me, while crying that I wouldn't pay attention to him and not take him on a date. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? El tipo es un puerco, una basura, una asquerosidad, una pérdida de tiempo. I don't ever want that near me. I don't ever want that near me. What else? What else? What else? Oh, Lord. My internet's really slow at the moment. I'm using the hotspot on my phone, which I don't have unlimited data. What is it that I thought earlier? I'm what people think is the wife of Menorito. So that's why people don't give me money for food. Ew, because he loves to play Barbies with people. The people that I grew up around are so. I even had gone to talk to them privately, like, give me money, please. They're like, no, now you're like the wife of Menorito. Y la wife de Menorito no tiene carro, no llega al supermercado sola, no sabe cocinar. You're now la wife of Menorito, y Menorito no te va a salvar porque Menorito, the money that he has, oh yeah, he has some of your personal money. We still don't know how he gets away with that. El tipo es un puerco, una basura, una asquerosidad. Ew. Is he on drugs? Full. In the meantime, you can decapitate la lich. Oh, husband makes love to me so well. It takes me on the best day. That's not my husband. Otherwise, I would know how to take care of it. Él es un asqueroso que me violó y me robó mi dinero so I couldn't date him. And these leeches don't know how to make the difference of that because then they can't charge for the pussy pictures that they send to men que aren't even men. So ellas se inventan todavía. Well, I'm down to that part still. Una historieta de que él es casado y yo no le hago caso y que él me necesita, pero I'm not mujer enough para robarme mi dinero y estar enseñándole la vagina a él. Son unas puercas, son una asquerosidad. You can decapitate Jennifer Bonilla. I was so close. I just didn't remember why is it that I want to kill her when I took that picture of myself with her. What else? You can decapitate Benjamin's Lorenzo's sons that rape me, that steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money. Dan un asco, gente, son una basura. He wanted to celebrate anniversary with me. After he does that shit, yo nunca, eso es un menorito asqueroso, I want to be socialite, that got into fashion trying to please me. Como he doesn't even please himself. He wants to kill me. Qué tipo tan puerco. Qué tipo tan puerco. Es una basura, una asquerosidad. I don't even know his name. And la leash says that I'm married to that. When I'm not, ew. Ella lo que hace es tratando de sacar dinero a él. Y él se deja porque he's so dumb. What else? Anyways, I'm about to send my GoFundMe on Instagram because I need money. I'm a victim of theft, domestic violence, genocide, abuse, sexual harassment, rape, sexual assault. That leads used to enter my bedroom, parents' home, and jump on me and rape me. And then say, oh, I was on a date with someone and had a pleasant time. Wow. Is the worst of the worst. He wants to go down in history that I'm very powerful and yet he could still hurt me. ¡Es bruto! Es bruto. Cuando yo digo que es bruto, pero una caca de persona. Peor que un excremento. Una cafrería. Asqueroso. Si se peina, postea una foto en Snapchat y sin yo follow him, se cree que yo lo voy a invitar a una cita. Porque that's what I imagine he does. I'm 7 days. Have you put it never. Ew. Which is why I'm very boring with the pictures that I post on social media. Porque I don't want him thinking that I am posting really pictures with the intention of seducing him when I don't ever plan to seduce him. And now that I made that statement, when I'm finished, I say, well, I plan to post every nude that I want of myself on Facebook. In fact, I already have an idea for my Tinder profile picture. What else? What else? Oh, that's hilarious. Did some men in Florida say, what the fuck? I can figure this out for you. You have amnesia still. This is your Tinder profile. But I want to say, so does Katie want to go on the date instead of you? And not as an insult, because that leech that raped you went on to hire Katie Leon to pretend to be you, la Jamaica Taco Cabana, gente. Ew. So I was in Orlando. I took a picture of myself next to a statue with Katie Leon. I'm like, I can't sort this in my head of who is this leech. So I posted it on Tinder. Like, I'm just here with someone. Literally, a random, might as well, on the street that took a picture with me next to a statue. But I imagine some people saw those pictures in Tampa, in Puerto Rico, in San Antonio, and other places that I was at, and went on to laugh and say, if we could just tell her right now, if she doesn't remember, that leech Katie Leon is trying to kill her to position herself as the wife of this. Basura son una asquerosidad. You can decapitate. I wore a diaper when I was little, way past preschool years, and I hate the planet. Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo says that raped me, that steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. They're disgusting. This leech thinks he has priority on my vagina. I'm gonna cut his penis one day and make him bleed to death. Decades ago, he asked Edgar to not give me money so that I can flee for him to rape me. And now this minute I'm starving. I have almost $0 in my bank account. He fakes being my husband, stealing my money, and then pays illegal prostitutes that shouldn't even exist to pretend to be me. Las liches dan un asco, gente. Son una basura tratando de violarme. Son unos cueros asquerosos. I don't ever want this leech near me. I hope he kills himself today for having raped me in my bedroom decades ago in my parents' home. Son unos cueros asquerosos. They stole my money for me to date them. And then they went on bragging lo que hacían con las menoritas que no son ni mujeres, gente. Ew. Out of almost everyone in my family of origin, I'm only one of a few people that has achieved adulthood that isn't a leech, that isn't a rapist, murderer, thief, and that's praised all over the planet. Mira las leeches that they all attract. They're disgusting. Esa leech is trying to rape me and she pretends to be me in my home. You can decapitate Deborah Bailey. I was a child when she was stealing from me and pretending to be me with these leeches. Dan un asco. They're pathetic, gente. They're pathetic. So gross.
so disturbing, so disappointing in humankind that this leech exists out there, de tan cuero asqueroso que es. Esta tipa es una cuero asquerosa. Her kids, Brandon and Raymond, are rape babies. Ew, ew, ew. This is a one-night stand of my mother's relative. Does turn herself into the wife. Ew, una bruta. And then she legally prostitutes herself while living with him. Es una asquerosidad. Es una asquerosidad. Ew, ew. The reason possibly why he doesn't give me money, Raymond Acevedo, maybe still trying to rape me or trying to get this hoe out of his home as soon as possible, and she doesn't get the hint. Ew, ew, ew. They're so dumb. They're so gross. Ew, ew, ew. I'm tagging the FBI in this post. I'm tagging NATO. I'm tagging Interpol, the International Criminal Court. Even though the International Criminal Court exists, I'm seeking the death penalty for everyone that stays in my homes without my permission, that steals my vehicles, that steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. That includes the staff at Haven for Hope. He thinks it's funny to traffic people into a homeless shelter, and then me being homeless and he being like, niños se quedan en la casa de ella. Sin permiso de alguien. El tipo es un cuero, un menorito asqueroso, gente, un infantil. Eso es un infantil bellaco asqueroso. Yo no sé cómo la gente lo soporta. Ew, unless you have a home that's over 35,000 square feet, entonces he'll behave. Porque he's always after gifts. Ew, un interesado, he killed my mother because she never bought him a gift. Ew, un puerco. You can decapitate whoever sent me this message, most likely his younger brother, based on how these leeches decades ago said to me, we have crime towards you for not having sex with us. So the terror is supuestamente the youngin, pero este tipo es un puerco porque he chooses to be un puerco. Ew. So that he belittles me so that I don't even have sex with any of the youngins. Otra gente más basura. Mira, gente, the wife. Though este estaba llorando en 2002 de que Marilyn lo viola, pero porque me roba mi dinero, so ella se mete en mi casa sin mi permiso y le dice, I win, Arlene is here. Porque eso no sirve, eso es inservible, eso no es mujer. Eso es inservible, una asquerosidad, gente, una bellaca asquerosa. Que se mete en la casa de la gente. Una cuero tratando de violarme, una asquerosa. Y que tú lo has visto, esos son menoritos y menoritas, gente. They're like worse than adult daycare. That's an embarrassment to people. For real. They thought that people were gonna come in here. No, that's my best friend and she's so pretty. Literally why the leash not only is trying to kill me, but steals my money, hoping that people will comment about her. An attention whore, so gross. Ew, they're disgusting. You can decapitate Ezio Rivera. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons that rape me, that steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. Causing for people to talk to me like this behind the scenes. They hype them up. I witnessed that decades ago with how gross they are. Behind the scenes, they're hyping up these leeches. Even possibly suggesting a ver qué le digo y qué le dice. Una basura, una asquerosidad. Eso no es un hombre. I want him dead immediately. You can decapitate Estio Rivera. You can decapitate Arlene Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez on his sons that raped me, that steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. You can decapitate Lalich. Edgar Munoz Carrero steals Jaden's and Kehlani's child support money. You can decapitate Jevo, gente, Jevo de ellos. Gilbert Lorenzo Acevedo, esta gente dan un asco, se violan. Una basura, una asquerosidad. Mira la otra asquerosa esta, que se tomó mi primer café con él en mi casa sin tener permiso que estar en mi casa, que él amarró y que una cama de balaustre. Ella se creía que yo me iba a matar porque él amarró mi cama de balaustre. I understand what little people personality is and they're not midgets. They don't get it still that they're retarded as fuck, so gross. And then they see someone with a big house and they're like, no, ahí me porto bien, porque ahí quizá me hacen un regalo un día. They're worse than hillbillies, gente. They're worse than hillbillies. Una asquerosidad, gente. Una bellaca asquerosa. Ginny Gendaliri is trying to rape me. Jaden Kehlani before Jaden Kehlani were even born. They're disgusting. Te dan un asco. In the meantime, that's always me. You can decapitate Claudia Gabriela Martinez Urias. You can decapitate Muñoz Carrero. You can decapitate Caro Cristina, whatever her last name is. Que mató a Gloria Nilsson. You can decapitate Clarissa Cepeda if she stays in my homes without my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the way of me receiving money, and steal my money. Ew, was she trafficked into that job? By Lalich? Ew. They've sucked so much dick illegally. Esto es un puerco. Ellos maman pene ilegalmente a la gente en la ciudad de San Antonio. Y all over the planet, Gap, everywhere. They want a favor y enamoran a gente que no quieren enamorar. That's why they hate themselves. Para controlarle la vida a una de cuando salen los vouchers or no, I had already witnessed that while I was growing up. So even though I wasn't expecting it to happen, I'm not surprised that they went with that route of being dumb and stupid. What else? I haven't spoken to these leeches in more than 20 years. I won't ever be speaking to them. They're disgusting. You can decapitate Damari Javiles that threatened me decades ago when I was a child to stay away from her kins. She killed Gloria Nirsa Acevedo. She's trying to kill me. They kill her dick and vagina. They're disgusting. Possibly still trying to rape me. Dan un asco, son una basura, una asquerosidad. Y esto es una vergüenza, que le mete el pene a eso, algo tan asqueroso. That's why I don't ever want it near me. It's disgusting. It prioritizes rape. Full. It tries to attract females to raping me, to give them fantasies of what they'll do to me so privately. Quizás llevan años hablando de quién me mamaría las tetas o no. Anyways, let me know when I need to testify because I've been more than ready. If I need to testify in court against these leeches, they're disgusting. You can decapitate Damaris Aviles. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez and sons that rape me, that steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. You can decapitate Migdalia Carrero. You can decapitate Aida Carrero. You can decapitate La Leach. Arlene Lorenzo Acevedo, que es una puerca. All she talks is about hospitals. She's a murderer, thief, and rapist. You can decapitate all these leeches possibly trying to rape Jaden Kehlani and me.
Dan un asco, gente, son una basura, son una asquerosidad. Estos tipos son unos cueros asquerosos. You can decapitate David Ledesma that raped me in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. Courtesy of La Lich, que me roba mi dinero looking for a scapegoat de que me mate. What else? And they participate. They're so dumb. They're so dumb. Porque behind the scenes, what they do, if they behave like they used to behave decades ago, they have group chats. They confer Parada Cinco style a ver what they can attract that day to rape. Hoping that it's me, but they're like, whatever shows up, I'll take. Ew. So they want to play the part of like, bueno, si Arlene se enojó con Andrew, hoy duerme conmigo. Cuando yo duermo feliz solita en mi cama o por Jaden y Kehlani. ¡Qué gente tan puerca! Una asquerosidad. You can decapitate Sonia Alvarado Chapman that steals my money, gets in the way of me receiving money, stays in my homes without my permission, and steals my vehicles, gente. Y me está diciendo que I need to get a job so I can get my own money. That leech is trying to rape me still. Dan un asco, gente. Son una basura. You can decapitate Erika Gardapi. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez and his sons that rape me and steal from me. You can decapitate Erika Gardapi. Como que yo no tengo que ir a comprar a Nordstrom. After that, I think I shop at The Rock. I haven't been able to afford shopping at Nordstrom. And yo no me meto a mamar. ¡Pene infectado, gente! ¿Cómo está, gente? Ilegalmente para poder comprar en Nordstrom, porque eso es lo que hacen, ellos me roban mi dinero, maman pene infectado, vagina infectada, and they're like, baby, let's shop at Nordstrom, pretend that you're Arlene. Qué gente tan asquerosa, qué cuero asqueroso. Una basura, son una basura, una asquerosidad. You can kill Benjamin Suarez and his sons however you want. Those that have raped me, steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money, for sure, you don't have to decapitate them. That would be my first choice. You can decapitate Erika Gardapi. You can decapitate Sonia Alvarado Chapman. You can decapitate Mariana Daza. That comment was possibly from him. That steals my money and gets in the way of me receiving money. He raped me. He just like trying to infiltrate himself into a fake threesome with people or trying to get me to kill myself. Decades ago, he said, I'm going to show up as Victoria Jordan saying, ha ha ha, you're homeless. Pero because I have kids, he went with, thank God the kids are not homeless. What kids, pendejo, if I haven't ever introduced them to them? What kids? Ew. He's trying to mother my kids for real behind the scenes. Del tipo un puerco. He's trying to sell Jaden and Kehlani to the highest bidder. That's why he infiltrates them into my life. So that the kids get acclimated with them, and then he tries to sell them to the highest bidder. ¿Por qué? Because I didn't suck his dick ever, because he's unworthy. He is retaliating with trying to sell my children to any leash that will adopt them. Well, guess why I didn't show up to those private group chats? On purpose, because I witnessed that happen decades ago. Dan un asco, son una basura. Ew. I'm burning like the Señora Arlene Lorenzo one day.
You can decapitate Deborah Acevedo Bailey. You can decapitate Carmenos Carrero, steals from Jaden Kaylani and from myself. You can decapitate Yesenia Ramirez Lorenzo. You can decapitate Tila Cole. Alexis Alfaro and Monica Agüero, if they get in the way of me receiving money, stay in my homes without my permission, steal my vehicles, and steal my money. They're possibly even rape victims of them. I wouldn't even consider these significant others if they have sex with them, because that's not sex. El leech me roba mi dinero, me trying to see me naked. So that's not even a spouse. That's a rapist. What else? What else? What else? And people don't give me money right away because they hate it when I'm the hot chick that everyone gets raped. Well, he thinks about the hot chick, not them. So I'm being patient until I find someone that actually gives me money. Porque I wouldn't ever understand that concept of killing the hot girl because it's not the hot girl's fault. But these are most likely insecure people anyways that he targeted. That volunteered to pretend to be me. In my own home that they don't have permission to be in. What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate Muñoz Carrera. You can decapitate David Ledesma. Here we go again. This is a long time of saying this. You can decapitate Arnaldo Torres Gallosa if he stays in my homes without my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the way of me receiving money. Or, what did I say? Steals my money. You can decapitate Luis Lorenzo that tried to rape me when I was 14. They stole my money on purpose so that I would continue trying to network. And he tried to kiss me and almost rape me, but I didn't let it happen because I sought help from not adults, but whatever, adults-ish. And we laugh at him. I said, how do I get out of this situation? They're like, as soon as possible, write him a letter and say, I love you. So I laugh with them. I'm gonna lie on this letter or whatever, so I don't go back. Like I witnessed that, and I'm like, remember when I wrote I love you to Luis Lorenzo? I didn't mean it's like that. I was done and over. That was done and over. After that, I'm like, yes, I'm in high school and I won't see him ever. So I haven't ever seen him after that, possibly since I was like 14 or 15 years old. For real. I haven't talked to him in decades, but I possibly haven't seen him since I was like 15 years old or 14 years old. What else? What else? What else? What else? Their mother stopped me from getting raped so I wouldn't kill her children because I'm like, if he rapes me, then I'll kill him and then I'll go and kill all the rest. It seems like my only way out of this situation. Decades ago. So I sought help. I talked to Ana Elba and we're San Lorenzo. And I said, I'm in this situation and I don't want to be in this situation. I don't want him to rape him. I don't want a relationship with him. They're like, just write him a letter and say that you love him. And I said, I'm heading to high school, so I don't think I'll talk to him again. They're like, perfect. What else? What else? What else? They want to turn me that person into that person that does the bloodbath for them to accuse me of crazy. They can't do that. It's self-defense. So even the adultish, I like sometimes feel like are like into trying to torment me, so I don't talk to them. You can decapitate me, young Kim Tower Limo. You can decapitate Arlene Lorenzo. You can decapitate Maria Luisa Rosa is trying to rape me. He tried to facilitate that. He facilitated that for her decades ago. For el tipo es un puerco, una basura, una asquerosidad. Son unos puercos. You can decapitate Marilyn Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Yesenia Ramirez Lorenzo. What else? What else? What else? What else? You can burn alive Yesenia Ramirez Lorenzo. You can burn alive just Deborah Bailey. You can decapitate Tila Cole, and she stays in my homes without my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the way of receiving money or steals my money.
You can decapitate David Ledesma. You can decapitate Rosaura Soto Rosa. You can decapitate David Ledesma. You can decapitate Deborah Bailey. You can decapitate Gardaby. You can decapitate Sunset Stanley. You can decapitate Pamela Martin. The Gloria Nisa trying to keep Ramon. They're so disgusting. You can decapitate Miriam Carrero, la liche esa que se hace pasar por mí decades ago. She was like, moving will never work, no me deja tranquila. Hiring me as an illegal prostitute. ¿Qué carajo es an illegal prostitute that she shouldn't exist? And he should be dead already for doing that shit. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? So if I'm the prosecutor in this case, I want him dead and I want her dead. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez and his sons that rape me, that steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. You can decapitate Miriam Carrero. You can decapitate Ana Luz Carrero. You can decapitate Maria Angelis Aviles. You can decapitate Mina Berrios. You can decapitate Luisa Gonzalez. You can decapitate Raymond Ramirez. You can decapitate Amarilis Echeverria. You can decapitate Arlene Lorenzo Acevedo. Es un asco. You can decapitate whoever caused my starvation. So I would complain that food stamps are so bad, but I didn't say that. I said my family defeated me. My family of origin, meaning for Jada and Kehlani, don't defeat me. And I've never, ever conditioned Jada and Kehlani to provide for me. And I'm not going to start now. These leeches steal from me. I want my money back. And I want them dead for stealing from me. So I'm not going to be putting my kids up to, please work and sustain me while he's in my Maserati right now, possibly. Metiéndole el dedo por el culo a Ginny Gendaliri, pretending that it's me, porque he has a sickness, gente, es un bruto asqueroso. A sex addict. Que tiene un club de ramera, gente asquerosa, que le ha prometido que él me va a llevar clubbing con ella y que me va a meter todo el dedo por el culo. Without my consent. So he keeps on acquiring more culo club de metedeo que yo no quiero en mi vida. Dan un asco, gente. Dan un asco. Son una basura. These leeches follow me like I'm fucking J-Lo. For real. Una asquerosidad. Una asquerosidad. Trying to rape me at a promise that he gave them. And he as well. De que me van a llevar clubbing y que me van a meter el dedo por el culo. When I haven't ever consented to that, and I won't ever consent to that with these people, I don't find them attractive. Ew. Son una gente tan asquerosa, unas bellacas y unos bellacos cueros asquerosos with disregard to that I'm hungry, I need money for food. I've been posting online every day. These are my second cousins, not just some random. These are my second cousins. Ew. This is my sister trying to kill me. Es una puerca, una asquerosidad. Ella le va llorando a él y así le mama el pene. Porque ella no sabe ser mujer, so ella quizá le enseña este texto y le dice, mira lo que me dijo. Así es una perra asquerosa, una basura, una asquerosidad. You can decapitate Arlene Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Liz Sinales. You can decapitate Mario Guajardo. You can decapitate anyone here that isn't him faking an account of pick a mood and I'll rape you. Porque he had described them to me decades ago.
¿Cómo qué carajo es eso? Pick and put and I'll rape you. Él no sabe ser hombre y haberme sacado una fucking cita. Ew. That's the only way that I would have had sex with him. And because he's not interested, I don't ever pursue him. It's that easy. It's that simple for me. These leeches are so aggressive, so gross. Una basura. They're a disgrace to humankind. They're a disgrace to men. They're a disgrace to children. They're a disgrace to women. What else? You can burn alive to Señora Arlene Lorenzo. You can burn alive Evelyn Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Yadiel Lorenzo Chaparro. They went on to lose my virginity for me with Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo sons that I love decades ago in my home without my permission of being in my home. You can decapitate Marilyn Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate whoever sent me this message, as long as it's not Jaden Kilani being coerced to abuse me as to separate Jaden Kilani from me, because I witnessed that going on in my family of origin as I was a child. You can decapitate La Leech tratando de robarme mi arte. That's why I don't have electricity. They're like in a rush de que yo me vaya a un homeless shelter para ellos entrar y robarme el arte que yo tengo aquí. That's why they don't give me money for me to pay my electricity bill. That's why they steal from me. That's why they get in the way of me receiving money. They're always conferring with CNN, Fortune 500 CEOs, raping them. They're so basurita gente. Then they ask them for pictures of those people in diapers or in leather, ideally, and then they go on to shame them. And say, if you even give money to my sister, I'll show these pictures to your wife where I let my primo rape you. That's their modus operandi still, I heard. Ew, they're an embarrassment. They're so gross. Ew. No, una gente tan puerca. You can decapitate Marilyn Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons. That rape me to steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. You can decapitate La Leech, Evelyn Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate everyone that has gotten in the way of me receiving money, everyone that has caused my starvation, everyone that has caused my homelessness, everyone that has caused my current apartment to not have electricity. You can decapitate Berenice Venegas. Esto es un asco que se hace pasar por mí, and then they hate me. Ew. You can decapitate anyone from here that stays in my homes without my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the way of me receiving money, and steals my money. I'm shooting Jennifer Mari Vasquez in self-defense one day. I'm shooting Janitza Munoz in self-defense one day. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons that rape me, that steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money. You can decapitate whoever sent me this message, as long as it's not Jaden Kilani. Being coerced by my family of origin to abuse me as to separate Jaden Kilani from me decades ago. Frodo Baggins, gente. Frodo Baggins. They identify themselves as the leash that's gonna bully one. Decades prior. They're that dumb. They're that stupid. They're that stupid. Ew. So as I'm reading, I'm like, no puede ser. Like, for real, él es un menorito still. Ew, qué asco. Like, I don't want to know anything about him, pero esto es una vergüenza. Que my second cousins are still menoritos asquerosos. Ew. I had not thought about them in decades. I had not talked to them in decades. Ew. This was what, in 2021? Maybe 2022. I'm hungry. I don't have money for food. I've been starved publicly for years already. He's trying to get me to kill myself, and the FBI is trying to see how tolerant I am and how much does he spill behind the scenes of how many people he's killed, how many people he's drugged and raped. So I'm like a minita de oro for the FBI. Imagine while I'm talking, I'm sorry, everybody, I killed a person in 2009 que se parecía a Arlene. Some shit like that, possibly. And all the bodies are being collected, and the FBI is like, keep talking, girl. Que más hambre tiene? Literally, all she talks about is I'm hungry, I need money. And I miss my children, I need a home for myself and my children. Behind the scenes, they're like, bueno, en 1997 maté a uno que se parecía a mí para que Arlene no se enamore de él. Possibly. Ew. So while I'm here talking, I never agreed to this. Behind the scenes, Yiniyanda Lili dice cuánta gente se ha comido viva. Literalmente, que she lured in through text messages and said to her that they think that I am prettier than her. They're disgusting. People say they're carnivorous. They're gross. Ew. They're extremely dangerous. They're extremely disgusting. You can decapitate Yiniyanda Lorenzo Suarez. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons. That have raped me, that steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. They just don't have any education, and it's not for lack of trying. Porque I come from the same area. And I'm very much Miss Goody Two Shoes never does cocaine and doesn't want to do cocaine ever. What else? No one basks in someone being homeless like these leeches that want to rape one gente. Ew. So when I received this, I think it was 2021, I'm like, oh, no one else hates me. And if people hate me, they keep it to themselves. It's just Frodo Baggins el que me odia. Or is it like a classmate that they rape, thinking that is me in my own home and that person hates me? I can't remember. You can decapitate Ezio Rivera, gente. They traffic me into starvation so that Ezio Rivera sexually harasses me or rapes me. They're gross. They're extremely dangerous. They're disgusting. Ew. You can decapitate everyone that has caused my starvation, my loneliness, my poverty, my homelessness. What else? You can decapitate La Lich, Evelyn Lorenzo Acevedo. 8 people have liked this post. 1 person's watching. I'm gonna shop at Walmart. You can decapitate that Neo guy. If he stays in my home still without my permission, steals my money, steals my vehicles, and gets in the way of me receiving money. Decades ago, they introduced them to me. I'm like, no, I don't even want to have sex with you. So why would you even introduce yourself with someone else trying to have sex with me in group sex? I don't want to have sex with you ever. So why would you introduce people to me trying to have group sex with? Ew, they're disgusting. They're dumb. They don't understand the word no. Ew. You can decapitate, mira, peleando por dinero que ni es de él. If that's their younger brother, ¿qué carajo le tiene que importar a él mi tarjeta de crédito o mi renta, other than he steals money from me, possibly? So that's why they're like, hysteria, don't process it. Listen, and Arlene de la panadería now doesn't look at me. And now I think that she's gonna kill me in self-defense. Maybe she has immunity to kill me que estamos en la panadería getting bread and you're starving and you don't have money to leave San Antonio, Arlene. So if I get killed in self-defense for you, it might be that girl at the bakery that I always see every morning. Sometimes that happens, people say. It's whoever least they expected. Ew, there's people in Aguada, Puerto Rico that have immunity to kill at least these three. Not this one, if that's 9 years younger than me, I don't know. Unless he steals from me and people are probing. It's like, do we kill that one too? He's never raped me. So if he's doing this, I say yes, because he's abusing me. What else? What else? What else? What else? I could have killed myself. He could have sent me $30,000 as a gift if he has that. Instead of estar jodiéndome mi vida por email. Toda una falta de respeto. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate Benjamin's sons that rape me and steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. You can decapitate Arlene Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate like Erica, Esa, whatever, that worked at Hill Air Force Base. They introduced me to her as Albert's girlfriend, whatever. They don't have girlfriends or wife. They just position people so that if one seeks help, they're like, we know that you're seeking help and trying to get away from us raping you. So that's why I'm very public with my posts nowadays. Like I've never been one to hide that I hate these leeches, that I don't ever want to have sex with them. And that I'm seeking money so I can date whoever I want to date. And it won't be any of these leeches. They're in the Ezio Rivera category for decades already. Ew, 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 ew. You know how I would scream at this if this would even rape me. Así están ellos, de tan basurín asquerosidad que son. Son una basura, una asquerosidad. Ew, ew, ew. They went on to terrorize my parents to not provide for me decades ago. They stole my money to date them. And then they kept entering my bedroom in my parents' home, raping me while bragging on the dates that they were having with other people. And they don't see anything wrong with that, so I want them dead. You can decapitate Maria Luisa Rosa, que showed up in my parents' home with this leech in her vehicle, bragging that she was taking him on a date, and he was bragging that Maria Luisa Rosa was taking him on a date, and I wasn't. He stole my money to date him. El tipo es un cuero asqueroso, una basura, lo peor que hay en este planeta. You can decapitate Yesenia Roman Feliciano. Ew, they have rape babies. Ew, they're so disgusting. Uy, fuck, this leech raped me in Edgar's parents' home decades ago. Ew, 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 ew. Da un asco, gente. Da un asco, no son hombres. O que se vayan y se maten already. Ew, 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 ew. You can decapitate Ezio Rivera. You can decapitate Guillermo Carrera, steals Jaden's and Kaylani's child support money. You can decapitate Gilbert Lorenzo Acevedo. The wife into their wife. Este leech no sabe lo que es una mujer y no sabe ser hombre tampoco. Fo. You can decapitate Ginny Gendaliris Lorenzo Suárez, que es una basura, una asquerosidad. Ew. You can decapitate Claudia Gabriela Martinez Urias. I already said these people. You can decapitate Gloria Margarita Cartagena. You can decapitate Astrid Nicole Nazario. You can decapitate Axel Nazario. That bullied me through Facebook in 2020. Dan un asco. What's next? That my hair turned gray. That's what they want to tell me behind the scenes, trying to get me to kill myself. Ew, dan un asco, son una basura. You can decapitate Carolina Chavez. He stole my money and then gave it to her. So she doesn't want me to bring light that she stayed in my home without my permission. She steals my vehicles, gets in the way of me receiving money, steals my money. She's an illegal prostitute, a whore that stays in my homes without my permission, pretending to be me. My name is in the title of the home. She has no reason to be in my home that I want sold because I didn't even want it built. So if it's that home is from artwork that he and I painted together, I said to this leech decades ago, I want the home sold anyways if they're built. So just don't have them built and let's split the money from the artwork right now. And they said no, que yo soy una maronita and I don't know what I'm talking about. If he was trying to buy me as a wife, then that doesn't work for me. So if it was all his money and he was putting a home and my name in the title of the home and the vehicles, I'm under the impression that I at least paid for one of them with the sales of artwork. Then I'm not interested. So I don't even want to cry like, oh no, él me estaba dando la vida y él lo iba a pagar todo. Wow. Pagar qué mierda si eso es lo que me quiere de prostituta ilegal tratando de violarme con mujeres que yo no quiero tener sexo. Pues. Él es un cuero asqueroso, es una basura. Eso no se quiere. Are they dead already? I want Carolina Chavez to kill herself today. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez and his sons that rape me, that steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. You can give me money in person through PayPal. It's AR Blue Sky Designs Go. Lo que estoy pensando, straight to my heart, Arlene Lorenzo Art. Shop, INTAYIAFAY. I am tired shop. My GoFundMe campaign is gofundme.com/f/Arlene-Lorenzo-Acevedo. It's April 16, 2025. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons that rape me, that steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money. You can decapitate Astrid Nicole Nazario. You can decapitate Gloria Margarita Cartagena. These leeches don't have manners, gente. Fool. Ew. You can decapitate Jennifer Bonilla. You can decapitate Katie Leon. You can decapitate Monica Pacheco. You can decapitate Lisenia Nieves if she hasn't. If she's still alive, she hasn't faked her own death, so I don't kill her in self-defense. You can decapitate Carol Cristina, whatever her last name is. You can decapitate Angela Jabs. You can decapitate Lindsay Fletcher, whatever. You can decapitate Katie Rose Miller. You can decapitate Richie Hill. If as an adult he stays in my homes without my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the way of me receiving money, or steals my money. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons that rape me, that steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money. Wow, I had forgotten about all of these people. I had not thought about this in decades. Ew, they will show up and they're like, I'm in love with that nigga. Wow! Un asco, gente, una basura. In the meantime, yo mirándome la uña, sin dinero para salir en cita con un hombre, or con una mujer that I would actually like. Ellos las venden, dan un asco. They're like, estoy saliendo con una Verónica. Mira a ver, te llevo a un sitio para que la conozca, a ver si quiere tener relaciones sexuales con ella también. Una desesperación, un asco, gente, una basura. En the meantime, robándome mi dinero. And asking my parents to starve me for them to rape me. Una querosina. You can decapitate la Verónica esa. You can decapitate Michael Lopez. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons that rape me, that steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. You can decapitate Gloria Margarita Cartagena. Mira esto. I wasn't even living in free government house, gente. Esta tipa es una bruta, una asquerosidad. You can decapitate Margarita Correa. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons that rape me, that steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. Dan un asco, son una basura. Una asquerosidad. What else? What else? What else? What else? I miss dating. I miss Kiloni. I miss cooking for myself. And I like this setup sometimes. I usually have water in my vehicle sometimes, so that's why there was no water. Él quiere literalmente meter la mano en mi computadora y sacar esto y regalárselo a la que le mama el pene. Él es así de brutosón. I don't know about this one, pero these two are very low inferior intelligence, very girls. So anything that they see that I have, they may be trying to even reach their hand through the computer, trying to get the food, and people say, pero nene, si eso no ve que está aspirado, son del 2020, se lo quieren regalar a la que le mamó el pene. They don't know how to do gift giving either. Y ellos son unos menoritos, short bus ready, una asquerosidad. Son un asco, gente. People literally call them asco en Aguada, Puerto Rico. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. What else? I'm stitching. Once I'm financially stable, I plan to activate my website, ArleneLorenzoArt.com. What else? What else? What else? I recorded this a while ago. I'm excited for
What else? What else? What else?
When one conducts one's own investigation, it feels like loneliness. Loneliness.
Financially stable. I plan to travel the planet and meet men, ideally polyamorous men. So excited for that. I plan to book a trip to Ritz-Carlton for myself in
I'm
New York.
excited for that. I'll take you and
Also,
Kiloni
maintain
with
and dream
me.
mommy, maybe by myself, maybe both. What else? What else? What else?
Él es una basura, el cosa. Dito, esa nena no tuvo ni abuela. Y quiere ir a un crucero. Esa nena no tuvo ni un set de grandparents y quiere ir a un crucero. El tipo es un asco, es una basura. Trying to make me feel less than because I didn't have a set of grandparents who were growing up. My dad wasn't even going to introduce me to my other set of grandparents because he's just my mother's boyfriend.
I've shared screenshots of those.
I don't need a boyfriend. Ellos son tan menoritos, tan asquerosos que ellos se meten en la vida de la gente sin estar necesitados. Son una basura, una asquerosidad. Trying to downplay my beauty, my smarts, my abilities with, ella no tenía un set de grandparents while growing up. Feel bad for her. El tipo es un puerco, una caca, peor que un excremento. No está muerto todavía.
Me robaron mi vehículo, me robaron mi casa, me robaron mi dinero, me robaron mi cartera, me robaron mis gold bars. Basically, because I didn't have a room of my own while growing up, and my siblings are very aggressive towards me. My parents had homes built for me and several individuals that I have crushes on. For me to lose my virginity individually with those individuals as soon as those individuals and I could get to it because like I was paralyzed.
They're still trying to rape me. That's an embarrassment. I hope he kills himself tonight. If he's still trying to rape me. One of them has a gun. You should put it to go use.
They were trying to kill me all the time. So those crushes turned out to be diggy hot. De que nunca habían visto una casa.
Literally, gente se emocionan por cambiarla. Yeah.
Una basura de gente que me violaron, me robaron mi dinero. So those nights or days or whatever didn't happen, even if it were gonna be just one day. in my own home having like really good sex with said men. They just, because they're not men, they ended up inviting people into my home. Those, I'll kill your wife, and I'll drink her coffee and try to pretend that I'm her.
Yeah. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons that raped me, steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money. It's April 16, 2025.
Qué asco, qué asco. So the majority of the people that I'm seeking the death penalty for is people that are trying to kill me so that I don't remember or reveal that they've stolen from me.
What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate Sarah Francis. You can decapitate who else? Jorge Avilés. You can decapitate Michael Norman that also raped me in 2016. I was shopping with Jaden Kelani. You can decapitate Juan Manuel Delis that raped me in 2017. Courtesy of these leeches. Stealing my money, was dancing in Garden. I was working at Nordstrom and Garden was on the way there from my home in shirts. And I just found it online through a website, through Facebook. So I take myself dancing there alone because I enjoy that. I was with Sarah Francis trying to figure out, like, how is it that I know her already? Why am I poor? So I was dancing there. He showed up, and decades before, he had approached me doing the menorito thing, una asquerosidad. What if you're dancing at Garden and we show up and then we pick between you and Sarah, who will we dance with that night? And I thought, mira, nene asqueroso, vete de mi lado y deja de estar hablando de mí, deja de estar tratando de vivir en mi vida. When you have no space in my life ever and I never think about you. Qué asquerosidad si Sarah se llega a matar por él escogerme a mí. Porque esa tipa es insegura as fuck already. So my concern at the moment was like, I don't want Sarah to kill herself. If they pick me, that could be their goal in life. So I said, I don't want that to happen. They're like, Sarah, ven aquí, escoge a alguien que tú quieras que viole a Arlene. I didn't even remember that these people existed. I never think about them. I'm never thinking like one day I'm going to be working at Nordstrom and a las 5 de mayo JD's going to show up y me va a violar. Like they are. They're disgusting. They're so gross. They're disgusting. Una basura, una asquerosidad. You can decapitate Sarah Francis. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons that raped me, that steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. They do the menudito ¡Oh, qué asco! ¡Eso no es un hombre todavía! I haven't talked to him in more than 20 years on purpose, porque ¿quién va a hablar con ese leech? Ew, 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 ew. Ew, qué gente tan puerca. You can decapitate Juan Manuel that is the sign of me. Dan un asco, gente, dan un asco, son una basura. That was like a 5-year-old when I met him decades ago at a networking event about social media. And I gave him a compliment of how pretty he was back then. That was it, not me wanting to have sex with him ever. He was listening in the conversation. He's disgusting. He's a snooper, an eavesdropper. Una basura asquerosidad. Listening into my conversations, and then he picked this kid for when he would be grown up, knowing that I would end up in San Antonio if he kept stealing my money. And I joined the Air Force so I could have peace for myself and to raise Dayday and Kaylani. So they retaliate with not being able to rape me by saying where you're gonna end up at a nightclub one day anyways, and we're gonna know where it is at. So David Ledesma was there stalking me by having a job there. Jorge Avilés que joined the Air Force to see me, possibly here in San Antonio. Fue una gente tan puerca, una asquerosidad. So Jorge Avilés raped me in 2016. Una basura. Son una asquerosidad. No son hombres. Córtenle ese pene. Déjalo de sangrar hasta que se muera. If that's the short thing, I vote for that. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons that rape me, that steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. Dan un asco, gente, dan un asco. In the meantime, I want to take myself to Austin. What else? What else? What else? Shop there, eat there, sightsee, maybe visit the library there. What else? What else? What else? Él se cree que yo la paso averiguando de su vida. Ew, ew, ew. I'm always literally minding my own business. My name is not a car singer only. Decades ago, he stole my money and said he's gonna turn me into a worshiper of clothes because I didn't have a set of grandparents while growing up. El tipo bruto, pero cuando digo que el tipo bruto es un asco de persona, una asquerosidad. Un puerco, una asquerosidad. I don't ever want that near me. Ew, in the meantime, I love Jaden. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Yeah, I love Kaylani. I love Kaylani. What else? Una leech stalking me, so I'm like, how do I get rid of this Instagram? Post pictures of her and people would tell me how is it that she steals from me privately, maybe, or I'll turn her into the cops. ¿Cómo es posible que yo tengo hambre, no tengo dinero, and this leech is always following me around? You can decapitate Berenice Venegas. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons that rape me, to steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money. Then un asco behind the scenes they're possibly plotting my murder. Ew, 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 ew. I want to shop at Trader Joe's. Imagine saying that to a sex addict. Gente, me quería matar decades ago. He is nothing to me, not even a relative. And I would be at a party listening. I'm like, oh my God, Trader Joe's right now sounds amazing. And like, Korea la vida, si no, a picture will show up next to me. You're not going to Trader Joe's ever. Como carajo, you're gonna be at Trader Joe's if my dick needs attention. Is that Albert? Is this one Andrew? Or is this Andrew? I don't know. And I really don't want to find out because they're all basura to me. So you might as well kill them all, and I wouldn't ever want to know their names or find out what they're called. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons that rape me, to steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money. I've never had sex with them. They just raped me. Ew, ew, ew. They lie to people saying that they're married to me. They're married to the leech que se hace pasar por mi gente todavía still. Fue una asquerosidad. El tipo es un puerco, una basura. Una asquerosidad. Es una asquerosidad. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate Liam Baker that I didn't want to see. You can decapitate these leeches that decades ago. Was it Berenice? That they tried to make it funny that I work for Berenice and Berenice's Mexican embroidery isn't attached to just Mexicans. They're dumb and they're bigotry too. I've said that decades ago. Ew, 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 dan un asco, son una basura. What else? What else? What else? I miss stitching. I miss stitching. You can decapitate Rebecca Minkoff if she stays in my home without my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the way of me receiving money, steals my money. You can decapitate me, how many Suarez Lorenzo's sons that rape me, that steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. You can decapitate Cyrus Peña, that traffic me into poverty, trying to rape me, and then brag de que la leech se lo mama mejor. Porque ellos quieren a la mala que yo me mate. They're jealous of me for no good reason. They're dumb. They're stupid. They're stupid. Ew, ew, ew. I don't ever want that leech near me. I don't ever want that leech near me. I'm bored. I'm bored and I'm starving and I'm food. I don't money for food. These people supposedly are drug addicts so that they don't gain weight, so they don't have compassion for people that say that they're hungry, they don't have electricity in their apartment, they're gross. Ew, 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 ew. You can decapitate everyone that steals my money, gets in the way of me receiving money, steals my vehicles, and stays in my homes without my permission. It's April 16, 2025. I don't have electricity in my apartment. Did I check my apartment after I got back?
From the hallway. Possibly not. I'll be right back. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. And I'm hungry and I don't have money for food. You can decapitate me, Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons that rape me, that steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money. So I don't have electricity in my apartment, so I can't have sex with a man or a woman. They're not in control of my vagina. I am. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. Una basura, una asquerosidad. They don't have first dibs of my vagina. No one ever does. It's just myself. It's my vagina. What else? What else? What else? What else? El tipo es un bruto, una asquerosidad. When I say que es una asquerosidad, es una asquerosidad. No es ni un hombre. Yo espero que ya se haya matado esta mañana. What else? In the meantime, I'm going to get a little rosa tomorrow. Phone. Or to cook plantain soup for myself. Is this live? You can decapitate Jimmy and that it is so sorry as the tipa una asquerosa trying to rape me, Jada and Kaylani. Ew. Before Jada and Kaylani were born. You can decapitate my homies, daughters, and sons that rape me and steal my money and the way of steal money. Trying to facilitate females to rape me. El tipo un puerco, una basura. Una asquerosidad. Fo. Yeah. I think there are people in Puerto Rico that have immunity to kill them in self-defense for me. I'm appalled that they haven't so already. La gente se va de crucero y se lo olvida. What else? What else? What else? But why has not the FBI killed them? Because I haven't made a personal request just yet until now, live. What else? What else? Because as a child and a young adult, the death penalty for those leeches through my parents asking the FBI for it. I don't know if it was granted as like I'm the petitioner. I never asked if it was my parents being the petitioner or myself. I'm bored. Even though the International Criminal Court exists, I'm seeking the death penalty for everyone that homes without my permission. It's April 16, 2025. You can decapitate Igor Munoz Carrero that steals James and Kelani's child support. What asquerosidad, una basura. What else? I don't ever want that near me, gente. It's not a man. It's not a man. It's not even available to. That was decades ago. Anyways, this live. Gina Jandaliris one decades ago, gente. Él es una asquerosidad. Él es una asquerosidad. Decades ago, he walked up to me with videos and pictures of themselves having sex with Gina Jandaliris and outings with her and saying, Gina Jandaliris, what? You can't have her things, that would have been you. Ellos son un puerco, una asquerosidad. Él sabe que Ginny Jandaliri no sabe ni ser mujer y él se acuesta con esa basura. I don't ever want that penis in me. Eso es un puerco, una asquerosidad. Eso es short bus ready to the graveyard, gente. Short bus ready to the graveyard. That's my petition. Que lo monten como el norito que es en una guagua de esa. That's what they use at jail too. Y mira que lo maten y ni lo entierren. I don't want proper burial for them. Oh, am I considered a spouse when it comes? What else? I don't want proper burial for them. I don't attend funerals anyways. Ew, what a waste of time. Unless it's truly a loved one in a, like, I don't know. Then I don't ever want to go to because I hope that Jaden Kelani outlive me. What else? Anyways, I vote burial. They're so gross. I could be in San Francisco right now, mamándome las tetas o con un jevo, una jeva, or both. What else? And I don't have money. Or I could be in Guadalajara, Puerto Rico ahora mismo con un jevo that possibly was homeschooling, but Anissa forgot to introduce to me. Or was waiting for progression to introduce me to people. Possibly, though those introductions sometimes are odd. Pero si eres lindo and what is being homeschooled, it's like, it's social hour to meet people. What else? Anyways, I'm gonna go back to my castle in North Korea. Maybe take Jaden Kelani with me. What else? I hate being inconvenienced. And I would be filing knives. Would I kill the judge in self-defense myself? Of being starved for so long? I've heard that if my financial situation doesn't get fixed in a day, I would abuse that she would kill the judge in her own case to save herself of desperation. It's like, I want to receive money now. So supposedly I'm a danger to myself. If we're in court, estaban como un mono mocking me possibly. Con el dedo en la oreja y sacándome la lengua.
shows me videos of his penis and Ginny's and Dality's neck and saying, that could have been you. And it is.
So I've managed to stay away from that. Back then it happened because they knew where to find me, my parents' home. Right now, they don't know my address. Even though I've made it public online, but they're not guests in my home ever. What else? 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 So just follow progression that I knew that I would see him at the library one day. Except I'm poor, so I'm not happy. Forget who I want to see at the library is someone else, not him. I hope I get a library date one day with someone like a random stranger. I'm excited about that. And if it doesn't happen, that's like skiing. Dating is like skiing, honestly. Sex is like skiing. I grew up in an island in Puerto Rico. There's no snow, so I'm like, hopefully one day I'll ski. And now I'm like, been there, done that. But I had to be patient to get myself to that moment. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? So sex to me is like skiing, and having grown up in an island without snow, there were no good candidates around me, but I thought they're lindo on the outside, but so on the inside, and if they're not into me, they don't need to kill me to prove it. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh, ew. Where they thought like the comments would be like, so demonio, gente praising him. They're attention whores. Ew, they wanted to know si la gente considera que la nariz de Ginny Gendaliri es muy grande o no. For real, they have a whole laundry list behind the scenes decades ago. I stopped talking to these leeches. Ew, I'm embarrassed that they behave so gross. Full, and they possibly fake being me behind the scenes, but people can tell that it's not me. A forensic examiner from the FBI can tell the IP addresses and all of that shit. So I don't even need to worry about that. I don't need to go on. They thought that I would spend 5 years instead of crying, I'm hungry and I need money. Oh, I didn't say that. That wasn't me. I wasn't there talking, eh? Someone told me they were talking on behalf of me. That's not me to say. Porque ellos le pagan a la gente para que se hagan pasar por mí. O ellos dicen, vengo ahora, me va a hacer pasar por Arlene, vengo ahora. And they steal my pictures. Y regresa y dice, hello. Llámame a Jade. Like that far back, I imagine they fake being me possibly. Y el hermano dice, no, vengo ahora, no va a decir eso. And they use the same picture and people are annoying. They're like, pero es que now I can't tell which one of you it is. Porque both of you use the same picture of her. Dale. They awful. My vagina speaks. Ew, do they have private versions where they stole my vagina picture? And they pretend to be me. Oh, you can decapitate. Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo says that rape me. Money, you can decapitate Arlene Lorenzo. This steals from me, so I get raped for her to see my vagina. They're disgusting. You can decapitate Ginny Gendaliri Lorenzo Acevedo. You can Ginny Gendaliri Lorenzo Suarez. You can decapitate
Yesenia Ramirez Lorenzo, you can decapitate Joanna Vargas, un asco, you can decapitate David Ledesma. That's why they talk to each other. They don't even like each other. And they cling onto each other for years. A ver, ¿quién es el que gana ese vagina picture? Y se lo enseña, gente. Son una basura, una asquerosidad. You can decapitate Jerry Garcia, best sex ever, though. Best. Like, apart from, like, having sex to have Jaden Kiglani with Edgar, Jerry Garcia was some really good sex, and I left right before he would have asked me for a baby. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Best sex ever, Jerry Garcia. What else? 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 You can decapitate David Ledesma. You can decapitate Michael Norman. You can decapitate Felipe Lorenzo Acevedo. Kill myself if I'm in the wrong mindset and I find out that these leeches they're disgusting. They're disgusting. So gross. I'm so sexy though. What else? What else? What else? That's why I hide. I can't be around these leeches. Some of them are relatives. Some are people that are met through relatives, and I can't be around any of them because they're so gross. Ew, 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 ew. So I stay to myself as the bachelorette that I am. Waiting to hit financial stability so I can travel and meet people and have Jada and money with me. And sex, consensual sex is so much fun. That's how I got 2 babies out of that situation. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm so bored. I'm so bored. You can decapitate me when we saw this one. So sons everything is stealing money. That was a man at the library yesterday. Very unlikely. Very unlikely. And it doesn't want me to pursue it. I give it so much space. This isn't even about that. This is about my poverty. And them being butthurt. But this isn't about them having wanted a relationship with me. This isn't about them having consensual sex with me. If anything, they've matured. And I don't want to know anything about them. I honestly don't have time. I just have time for myself thinking on me. Or what was I saying? If they haven't matured, they're just leeches. Want to be in control, want to rape me just for bragging rights, just to destroy me. They brag about my son Delasma possibly having calls that they're like, eso no se ve ya. Y alguien tiene son Delasma. They don't understand that power comes from respect. What they do is terrorism and forcing people to like them or agree with them. Ew, that is like a man without balls and just a penis trying to get someone pregnant. That was el tipo un puerco, una basura. What else? What else? What else? I'm sending my GoFundMe campaign to people. What else? You can decapitate my homies or sons or sons. That rape me to steal my money and get in. Your tipo un puerco, una basura. I think his name is Oliver. Alex, Lich, basura, Andrés, qué puerco eres. What else? What else? What else? After my siblings' approval, after my parents' home is what they are. What else? After my siblings' approval is what they are. After my parents' home so that they can host people in my childhood bedroom for people to pretend that they're me. What else? 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 Some people say that the people from Walt Disney are scary sometimes. Imagine that Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse trying to be kicked out of their own home. For people to stay there and pretend to be them. Ew, 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 ew. El tipo un puerco, no basura, una asquerosidad. When do I start receiving money? I want to travel. I'll to them today. What else? What else? Anyways, I'm an excellent cook, chef. What else? I have great taste in lingerie. What else? I love bubble baths. I'm excellent at stitching, art, was dancing. What other talents have I showed on the internet in the past 20 years or so? And I've never had a conversation with any of these leeches because, first of all, I don't try to impress anyone. And if I were trying to impress someone, it's never going to be them. El tipo un puerco, una basura, una asquerosidad. Fo. Ew. That's your husband? Fo, que asco. He's been raping for more than 30 years. Ew, having stolen my money so I can't date. Se cree que me tienen layaway and he has no chance ever. At my vagina, I'd rather die. But I'm trying not to. Porque I don't want to die. I'd rather die than let me. But I don't want to die. And I don't want him near me. I don't want him to be taking me out after I'm financially stable. I don't want anyone also to put those false ideas on his head. I want him to not ever think about me. It didn't happen, and that's okay. I imagine that one day I'm gonna go back to an orgy, fall in love with someone, be like, oh, I didn't get his number. Fuck, that was some good penis. Oh, whatever. And never see him again. It happens. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? You can give me money in person through PayPal. It's AR Blue Sky, straight to my heart. Arlene Lorenzo Art Shop, INTAYIAFAY. I am Tire Shop. My GoFundMe campaign is gofundme.com/Arlene-Lorenzo. I have cookies in the phone and the restroom. What else? And I have water here. Where did I place it? Anyways, I won't starve to death today. However, I'm not very happy that I didn't eat the caloric intake that I'm supposed to eat. And the choices of food that I want to eat. He wants to pretend that we're dating and that some days he fed me rabbit when I didn't want to eat rabbit. El tipo
So much bullying in my childhood towards me. Ew, 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 ew. And I've been a guest already at people's home and have always enjoyed what they cook for a long time. The home had dog hair all over. And there was, what is it? There was goose instead of turkey. He killed my mother because my mother never gave him a gift. Ew. Ew, 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 ew. My phone's turning off soon. It's at 7% right now. And speaking right now, I'm just gonna. Who I called earlier. And I answer the phone. They're gonna capitate all those leeches, the on his money. They're disgusting. Eso como se ve en un circo, pero es que no es. Él es un. For real. The last guy suffered from amnesia, so I didn't know as I was seeing these people. How did I know them already? They're hoes that pretend to be me in my homes. Ew. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. I was this close to killing them and someone stopped me. That counts as a testimony for the FBI. The girl who was like black killing them, we will. And so different for you. Oh, they want to try to condition behind the scenes. Mira esto, ¿dónde regalo esto? First, they want to one with gifts, people saying. And I personally don't give them opportunity for that. That's why for 5 years I've just posted publicly that I'm starving, that I'm money for food. Porque behind the scenes they want to be like, pero si esta te compra una cartera y te da dinero y un carro with my own money that I wouldn't remember. That he steals from me, I wouldn't be able to verbalize it to the police. He wants them to act benefactors towards me with my own money that he steals from me. So that I don't take the death penalty for them. Oh my God, has been starving me on purpose until I remember all the details of why it is that I had these people even in my home trying to kill them, but I didn't remember why. They're disgusting. They attacked me sexually in my bedroom at my parents' home, forced themselves onto me. They're so gross. Decades ago. They entered my bedroom without my consent. He thinks that because I'm poor that people won't believe me. How poor, pendejo, if he steals all my money and quizás no deja de estar hablando de mí. El tipo es un bruto. El tipo es un bruto. He asked people for Harry Winston budget for me and then he said, no one will believe her. Ew, 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 ew. Da asco, gente, dan un asco, son una basura. I want to eat a plátano loco next month, but I don't want to have to kill that Leslie girl and her brother and her
que se queda en mi casa sin mi permiso. El peor que los días de sacar el dinero que me roban. Dan un asco, esta gente son una basura. Una asquerosidad. I just want my money back so I can live my life and I can date men or women. They have no chance. So I ask that you stop pretending to be me if that's what you do. Trying to get him hung up on the idea that one day. Ella mientras le soban el pene le dicen un día ella te va a llevar una cita. They're making promises that they can't keep. They're gross. So it keeps the obsession of him towards me. Ew, 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 ew. I just want my money back so that I can go on to live my life and date men, not these leeches that don't have a chance. These are just arranged marriage that Gloria's facilitated for me against my will. Porque I didn't want to get started sexually. Decades ago, I lacked self-care too, so I don't go into anything ever. I had dating Kehlani because Edgar said to me that he'll provide for me. Dating Kehlani if I live with him. And that he'll provide for Jaden Kehlani even when I can't provide for Jaden Kehlani if I'm not living with him. And that if I ever don't have money to provide for myself, Jaden Kehlani need to go on to find out why it is that I don't have money, because no one is poor in the United States. Only the abused are poor, and they don't remain poor forever. There's GoFundMe campaigns. There's money being gifted to people in person all the time. I was selling my artwork too. What else? 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 Anyways, I need to send my GoFundMe campaign to people. I just worked. What a waste of 5 years, and I missed it. I missed it. What a waste of 5 years. These leeches want to talk to me privately to sexually harass me, and he's trying to facilitate that. They're so gross. They're disgusting. When I say that they're disgusting, they're worse than un excremento. Esta gente da un asco, son una basura. I'm aiming for the most women, females killed ever in history for being leeches and for stealing from me, Jada and Kehlani. Including the men, I want them gone because they aren't men. But everyone blames when it comes to rape, everyone goes like, oh, the men are terrible. These leeches are so gross. Ew, ew, ew. They promote rape culture. They steal. They're no better than me, so that's why I don't even have to talk to them privately. Ew, ew, ew. So if I get my way, this will be like the most females that will ever get killed for being leeches. And I have all the evidence to back it up. What else? What else? What else? What else? In the meantime, I'd like to get back to living my life. So I'm asking that people give me money in person through my PayPal accounts or through my GoFundMe campaign. What else? 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 I miss Jaden. I miss Kehlani. I didn't give up Jaden, and I didn't give up Kehlani. What else? What else? Bored. I'm bored. In the meantime, I saw this menorito yesterday, and I'm appalled that he's still alive. But his death doesn't guarantee people gifting me money. So I'm being patient, more than patient. I haven't killed myself, and I've been starved for 5 years, and my children have been wrongfully separated from me for this amount of time. What else? I've suffered from amnesia, so a lot of people just to keep myself and my 2 children safe, not that I would hurt them. Want me to remember all the details of why it is that I hate him and why he goes on killing millions of people every few decades. Porque I'm a toy that he can't have. And I don't play with humans as if they're toys. Si ellos supieran lo basura que se ven, dejando que él juegue con ella. Fu. Y la madre se lo dice la tía, y se lo dice el juez, y se lo dice tanta gente. Deja de ser tan basura. Y dejando que él juegue contigo. Que mira, así como tú te ves por ahí, terrorista, asquerosa. No eres ni madre, eres una basura. It's what people say to them. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. They're all fascinated with the idea that he's going to take me dancing one day y que ellas me van a meter el dedo por el culo when I'm not going to facilitate or allow that. What else? What else? Dan un asco. Esa es la fantasía que él les vende todavía. La Britney Akerson todavía vive llorando de eso. Ew, you can decapitate Britney Akerson. Dan un asco, gente, son una basura, una asquerosidad. I've never been out on a date with him. I'll never go out on a date with him. And he sold them the fantasy that they're going to all take me out to nightclubs and that I'm going to allow them to stick their fingers in my ass. And they can't wait for that moment. It's like Christmas for them. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. I would never allow them to touch me that way. Ew, que gente tan puerca behind the scenes. They're in group chats waiting for that moment. Wow. They're an embarrassment. You can decapitate everyone that steals my money, everyone that gets in the way of me receiving money, everyone that steals my vehicles, everyone that stays in my homes without my permission. You can decapitate Menorito ASAP. That has raped me, that stole my money to date him, and then wants to continue raping me. Yo quiero que él se mate. I don't ever want him near me. I don't ever want these leeches near me. Ew. How many more fake pictures is he gonna create trying to rape me? Fool, él es un menorito asqueroso. Ew. Kill him now, kill him today. There's people in Aguada, Puerto Rico that have immunity to kill this menorito asqueroso in self-defense for me. You can go ahead and do that. I won't be affected. I'm ending this video because my phone is about to turn off.